Hi guys, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, so guys, let's wait for another 5 minutes. Yeah, hi Vikas sir. Guys, just give me another 2 minutes, okay?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yeah,
Hi.
guys, just starting 1 minute. Hello, guys. Good evening. Guys, can you hear me now?
Yeah, because we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining today. And today, what we are going to do, I'll be explaining you now, and what are the things that I'm going to cover. So before going into that, let me tell you about myself. Okay. So my name is Bikash, and I have like around 12 years of experience into network security. I have worked on different flavors of firewalls. So if I say flavors, meaning that I worked with Palo Alto, Cisco SA, Checkpoint, Juniper. So I have like broad vendors of experience into network security, even with VPN, proxy, and other stuffs as well. Okay. So yeah, I'll be sharing with you like how would the enterprise network look like, how when we go for a troubleshooting, how we are going to do that, what are the steps, what are the questions that you guys need to ask during the troubleshooting time. So those things I'll be putting from my experience point of view to this course. Okay. So if I talk about from this course point of view, this is really exciting course if you really want to accelerate your career into network security, because if you study Palo Alto, you are going to learn about how exactly a basic firewall works, how next gen firewall works, how VPN works, how routing works, how like remote VPN works, how high availability, like it actually a combination of everything. So once you study Palo Alto, you will be able to understand each of the topics, and even with the network security as well. Okay, so I'll be the instructor for this PCNSE course. So I'll be guiding you through all the sessions, all the topics. If you have any doubts, you can come to me. So all these things. Okay. So let me share my screen and I'll show you what are the topics that we are going to cover throughout the course. Okay. So let me share my screen. Once you see my screen, let me know.
Yes, Vikas.
Okay.
It is visible. Yeah.
Now, to understand why, first of all, let me tell you about the thing is like why we have to do Palo Alto and why we have to do it from networking. So first of all, it provides a lab which is 24/7. Okay.
For Palo Alto.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So now, if I talk about the key element of Palo Alto, because I was talking about the Strata and the Prisma and everything, what exactly it does, whenever the Palo Alto sees any traffic, it has a complete visibility. Why it is telling us a complete visibility? Because he has an idea of what kind of traffic that is coming in. What I'm trying to say is, let's suppose if a user is initiating any connection. For an example, this is the user and we are accessing something. For an example, it goes to through a Palo Alto firewall. Okay. And this Palo Alto firewall is basically connected to internet. Okay. Now this Palo Alto firewall, whenever you initiate any connection, whether it's a TCP, Handshake, or SSL negotiation, or going to google.com or any other website. Okay. Now, whenever the traffic hits to Palo Alto, it checks all the parameters, the source IP address, the destination IP address, the port number, the source port number, the flags of that particular TCP connection, and the application visibility as well, user visibility as well. So whenever a traffic initiates from any of the user, he will be having, the Palo Alto will be having the user information, the destination information, the application information, the port details. So it will have complete visibility what kind of traffic that is going through the Palo Alto firewall. So that is called as complete visibility of that particular traffic. Okay. Now, once it has a complete visibility of that particular traffic, what happens is it reduces the attack surface, meaning that whenever if the firewall, or if you are knowing that what kind of traffic that is allowed through your environment or allowed through your firewall, the attack surface will reduce. It is not completely gone, but it reduces it, because you will be having such a control that what kind of user, what application it uses, right? So basically it uses your attack surface. Okay. And also it has a lot of known signatures that is available. Known signatures meaning that whenever a pattern that is seen, for an example, let's say for an example, if you are on Zoom, or for an example, you are in let's say you are in using Facebook or YouTube. Okay. Now the way the Zoom works, the way the Facebook works, the way YouTube works, it completely different. Okay. It is a, what exactly it is? It is a video conferencing or maybe collaboration application. This is social networking, or this is video streaming, right? So the way it works, that is called as signature. Okay. So basically how I am going to talk to you, or if your family relative is talking to you, there is a way, right? So same way it understands the particular pattern, how exactly the user is communicating to that particular destination. So by their pattern, it understands that is it the Zoom application, or does Facebook or YouTube application. So it known how exactly the threats are preventing, like how threats works, it prevents that basically, meaning that it understand how exactly a threats communicate to each other. So it known by knowing the signature of that and prevents it from that. And also it prevents the unknown threats. How exactly it does, let me tell you. So as you are knowing what kind of application that is allowed in your environment, right?
Sorry sir, to interrupt you.
Yeah, go on, please.
This is Rahul Kakkad. I just want to know about the reduced surface attack, reduced attack surface one more time.
Yes. So reduce surface attack meaning when you have a complete visibility. Okay. So meaning that if you have a complete visibility of the traffic which is going through your Palo Alto firewall or coming to the firewall, you will be the attack surface, the attacking will be reduced. Like it is not that much where you don't have any idea. So in basically in other firewalls or in old firewalls, for an example, Cisco AC, or if I talk about Juniper. So we used to give IP address, source IP address, destination IP address, destination port number, okay, and whether it's a TCP, UDP, or IP, something like that. We used to give like this information, right? So we are not sure what source is talking to destination because we are not having any visibility about the application. We are only sure about it is a TCP connection or UDP connection. That's all we know on that port particular port number. So for an example, on port number 80, I am expecting HTTP traffic, right? So I am only allowing this HTTP traffic, but as I am not mentioning the application, I'm just allowing on port number 80. In that case, what happens? Any user or any destination, in port number 80, they can send any malware traffic or any traffic which is not legitimate traffic. They can send on that, right? So as it understands, that is the reason it says here as well that it prevents the known threat as well. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, in a very simple way, that I have the control what traffic that is going out of my network or incoming to my network. So it actually reduces the attack basically in our environment.
Attack surface, I didn't still understand it. Attack surface, like you mean to say that the users or what, like the user system, users network, or what for the surface?
Basically surface in sense, for an example, in your network, okay, now you have, for an example, a system is there, a Linux system is there, you have a port number open for an example, now 9,000 port number you have opened. Okay. Now you have closed all the port numbers, only 9,000 is open and where the application is running, right? If I do a TCP scan, so what happens is only I'll be seeing only 9,000 port that is open for Linux server.
Fine.
I have some vulnerabilities on port number 80, port number 23, port number 20, something like that. Known vulnerabilities are there. But on 9,000 port number, I don't have. I need to find it. So the attack surface has decreased over here, right? You understand it?
You mean to say that the source means for surface.
Yeah, basically your internal traffic.
Any system or any other thing.
Any other thing. It can be a network, it can be a user, it can be a server, any device. Okay. Now, you understand it?
Sorry, voice is a bit low. Didn't hear.
Is it fine now? Is it fine?
Yes, it is fine.
Okay. So now, preventing the unknown threats. So preventing unknown threats is in sense like, as I was explaining here, that as we are sure about it, like on port number 80, as it has app ID enabled or something. For an example, if somebody is sending traffic on port number 80, right? I am expecting only HTTP traffic. I'm not expecting any other traffic. Okay. So if somebody is doing telnet on port number 80, I'll not be accepting it. So it means that it actually unknown. Somebody is sending traffic on port number 80 instead of HTTP is sending telnet traffic. On telnet, he can send some malform traffic as well. So basically what is happening here, it is happening like the telnet is some other protocol than HTTP, right? So as it prevents the unknown attack, meaning that as on port number 80, I can do a telnet, the firewall are not aware about this. So it actually prevents that particular type of attack as well. Any questions?
Fine, sir. Everything is good.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, go on.
So, actually, so if there is a port open and like say port number 80 is open on the firewall. So if we connect to the system through port number 80 via telnet, does the firewall allows?
If you by default it will not allow it. You have to make it allow.
Yeah, the port number is 80 is allowed. That means the config, there is a security policy on the firewall to allow the port number 80 on the firewall. So will it allow? Will it allows the telnet when we connect to the port via port number 80?
No, it will not allow by default. You have to make it. You have to select that particular option. Then only I'll show you during the session when we go to app ID. I'll show you.
Okay.
You have to untick that particular option, then only it will allow the telnet traffic. Otherwise, the telnet traffic on port number 80, it will be denied by default.
Okay.
Okay. Now we are going to see what are devices they are having in basically in startup. In startup, there are
Uh, Actually, I have a query before like previous one. Means like for that particular telnet, we have to enable the service on the client's server itself.
no, you have to, if you want to allow through Palo Alto, you have to allow telnet.
Okay.
But on port number 80, if you want to do, you cannot do it. You have to do some of the modification into the rule to allow that particular traffic telnet on port number 80.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Now in I was talking about the Strata, Prisma, and the Cortex, right? So in Strata, we have this much of port like devices which is available. Okay. So these are the product portfolio basically. Okay. We have something called as VM series, we have CN series devices, we have physical devices as well. Okay. We have subscription services, Panorama, WildFire, GlobalProtect, and Prisma Access. I'll talk about that. Okay. Now, first of all, we have devices which is Palo Alto firewalls. Okay. It can be a physical device. It can be a VM device. And we will be doing our lab on VM devices. Okay. These are the CN devices. CN devices will be installed on Kubernetes and all those things. Okay. It's a very small device and it also protects your traffic. And VM series you can install on the AWS cloud as well. You can install on Azure cloud as well, or any other cloud, GCP, or wherever you want. You can basically allow those as well. Okay. Now, if I talk about subscription services, once you go for these devices, you are going to get a support, right? In the support, it provides you threat prevention and NGFW capabilities. Means you will get an URL update, application update. There are so many updates that I'll show you during the sessions. There are so many updates that you are going to get once you go for the subscription model, like subscription. In the support itself, you will be getting this option services basically. Okay. Now, if I talk about Panorama, so in Panorama, like basically it's a centralized management and logging as well. So Panorama will be there and you will be able to manage all the firewalls which is there available in your environment. So let's say if you have like more than 10 devices, or maybe more than 5 Palo Alto devices, or in future, if you want to, maybe the sites might increase, or it is getting increased, or you have some future projection that there are so many branches that needs to become in the future, maybe you can take the Panorama for that as well. Okay. And from Panorama, you can push the policy. You don't need to log into each of the firewall and implement the policy. You are sitting here and you are implementing. So single console, and you will be able to implement all the firewalls, all the rules to all the firewalls. Okay. And also you can enable the logging as well. So if somebody is telling that I'm not able to access something or some, the logs will be get stored in your Panorama. You will be able to, sitting in one console, you will be able to see all the logs from all the firewalls. So you will get to know about only by the IP address and the destination IP address, whether it is getting blocked by which firewall, you will get to know about it. So it's a easy one to troubleshoot as well. Okay. Now, if I talk about,
In VM series, that is only for Panorama, or like that VM series or devices we also used in Prisma also for cloud services.
Prisma is a cloud service, basically.
Okay, means like we can use on in Prisma also.
Prisma is a cloud service.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Now, WildFire is nothing but it's a malware detection service automatically detect. So basically what happens is a WildFire, which once you get the license, okay, once you get the license of WildFire in Palo Alto Firewall, so basically it go for, and you enabled WildFire in your rule, so it goes for a WildFire analysis, okay, and check whether that particular file, it is based on the file information. So somebody has sent you a file or you're downloading any file, and if you have enabled, let's say you have written a policy saying that if somebody wants to, somebody is downloading something from the internet, okay, and it is going through the PA. Now PA will analyze all the data if somebody is downloading it, okay. So it goes for a WildFire analysis and it predicts that, okay, it can be allowed or it can be denied, something like this, okay. And if this is not, if this analysis is not good, you can take another appliance, WildFire appliance, okay. So maybe you can send that particular information to this WildFire appliance. It does all the analysis and it gives you a verdict whether it needs to be allowed or not, okay. And also you can go for cloud services as well, both ways, okay. So you can go for a cloud services, you can send that particular file to the cloud. Now cloud will do the analysis and send that particular verdict to appliance or to your Palo Alto saying that it can be allowed or denied. So in WildFire, you have all the options that is available. You can go for appliance, you can activate the license into the Palo Alto Firewall, and you can go for a cloud services as well. Okay. This is just to detect a malware in the files, okay, and also unknown threats as well, okay. Now GlobalProtect. GlobalProtect is nothing but a remote VPN solution. So no matter you are in home right now, working from home, or maybe you are traveling to some country, other countries, and you want to connect to your organization to access your organization servers or resources, something like that. In that case, maybe if you want to access some of the files, in that case, you will be connected to VPN. Okay, that is known as GlobalProtect. Okay, you have to have a license for that. Okay, and once you have the license, you can activate it and you can configure GlobalProtect, and the users will be connecting. Now there are two options. First is remote office, another is mobile users. I just talk about the mobile users, whether you are working from home or any other traveling location or any other hotels. But remote offices will be, let's say if you have a branch somewhere and you want to connect to your, let's say, some kind of location. For an example, you are in India, okay, and on India you are in Delhi and you wanted to connect to Bangalore, something like this. So in that case, a branch needs to connect to some other branch. In that case, you can also use GlobalProtect as well. Okay, yeah. Please tell me what was the question.
Yes, I just want to ask one question regarding WildFire. Like for example, like if one of the system it's get affected, okay, means like that that user is, it's a non-technical user, like he has downloaded one file and that file has a malware, like and that malware has exploded after that and the system get affected. So after the system get affected, like how the means like next time how will the WildFire means like detect or like same allow that traffic or blocked, means like how he will check the WildFire, how will you check that?
Okay, so there are see, whenever somebody is downloading, for an example, this user is downloading the traffic. Okay, so let's say from internet he is downloading some of the files. Okay, now whenever it goes through this Palo Alto Firewall, it will not send that particular file to him until and unless he does the analysis. Okay, maybe he can send to the cloud, maybe he can send to the appliance if you have WildFire appliance, or if the appliance is not able to predict, he will send to the cloud. Now cloud will send a verdict saying that, okay, we are not sure about it. Now it depends on your setting, whether if this analysis or this analysis or this analysis, they are not able to detect, this file is not this file is not good, for an example. And it says that we are not sure the file, what is the file, whether it contains any malware or not, because we have not understand the pattern of the file. Okay, so it is unknown. Now you will do the setting, whether I should allow the unknown type of pattern of the file or something like that, yes or no. So it depends on your setting. If you say that you are going to allow only known pattern kind of file, in that case that will be allowed. And if it is if you say unknown as well, in that case the chances of getting exploited, for an example, it got exploited in your PC. Okay? Now in that case, you will be monitoring, you will be having antivirus over here. Okay, or even they have a product for GlobalProtect as well. You can monitor your activity. GlobalProtect, there is a client is there. It also protects your PC as well, the end systems. Okay, it also monitors the behavior of your registries, the processes, services, everything. Okay, if it detects, okay, any malware is there, it can maybe it generates some logs or warning message that this system is compromised. In that case, you will get notified, or the cyber security guys, they'll get notified that if this endpoint system is compromised. Okay, so this can happen.
Means like WildFire is creating a duplicate copy and stored in our database. Means like next time the same file or like some same malware will become, that it's get automatically blocked.
So basically, if it is an unknown one, it tries to understand. It will be a manual effort for Palo Alto to understand the pattern, because it's a new pattern. It tries to understand and analyze and give a result. Okay, it can be allowed or it cannot be allowed, something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, we'll talk about, as we understand the GlobalProtect, we'll talk about Prisma Access. So Prisma Access is nothing but what exactly happens in Prisma Access. Let's say you want to access something on the cloud. Okay. And you have to give access based on the users. Okay. Now Prisma Access will give you a kind of portal. You can configure on the cloud, let's say database, let's say software development, or let's say accessing to some kind of tools, something like that. So you just click on that particular application. It verifies, okay, you are good with this access authentication, and then it will get redirected to that particular application page. So it gives you a portal to access that particular application. So for an example, if I talk about any OTT services, okay, so once you log in the OTT, you will get a TV series, home movies, and all those things. So you just click on that particular that TV series or movies. It gives you all the options that is available for that. Same way, let's say you have access to that particular application. It checks your authentication and then it gets redirected to application basically. So you can also do it in remote size as well as remote users as well. That needs to be done at Palo Alto Firewall level. Okay, and for that you have to get a license for that. Okay, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, for this authentication process, do you have use any like what MAC binding or anything like for these devices?
So MAC binding is not a feasible option. Basically, we'll
Okay,
be integrating the AD. Okay.
okay,
If you integrate the AD, your information, so your username, your email ID, everything will be stored at LDAP and you will get authenticated with that. So basically, we'll
okay,
be integrating some kind of user um, database kind of a thing. So for an example, in Microsoft, we'll use Active Directory, AD.
yes, yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay, fine. Now will be what are the topics that we are going to cover. I'll talk about now. Okay, so this is just a way to configure a management in Palo Alto Firewall. How we are going to do that? Initial configuration, management profile, SSL, TLS, management, initial configuration. All those things I'll be talking about that. Okay. Now, if I talk about the initial design, when you go for a design or a deployment configuration for Palo Alto Firewall networks, what are the things that you need to keep in mind? Okay, whether you have to go for a HA deployment, whether you have to go for a zero touch provisioning, in sense like that site is at remote site, no one is available. In that case, you have to do zero touch provisioning, whether you have to configure the bootstrapping, whether now once you implement, whether you have to do a link monitoring, whether you have to do path monitoring, how exactly the HA links will be connected, how the failover will work. When you choose high availability, it had to be active or active passive, or how HA interfaces works, how clustering works, how election settings will be there. So what I'm trying to mean over here is, so whenever we design or deploy any Palo Alto firewall, we have to keep in mind some of the things. Okay, what is the target to deploy a Palo Alto? So these are the things that you have to keep in mind. So once you understand all this topic, you can, at least by seeing the site requirement, you'll understand, okay, I have to implement link monitoring. Okay, I need to configure HA configuration. It has to be active passive, like that. You'll be thinking about it. So we'll talk about that as well. Now, there are so many deployments that we need to do. Okay, that is called as security profiles. Okay, if I talk about the configuration and the deployment, so basically there will be a profile, the custom profile or the default profile. What is the relation between URL filtering and threat prevention? uh, there is a HTTP header. You can change the HTTP header as well. If you want to access some application, it is going through your Palo Alto firewall. If required, you can modify the HTTP header as well. It comes into URL filtering. Now DNS, if you want to give us provide a security, because DNS is like kind of a UDP traffic, you have to provide security to that, right? So how you are going to do that, I will be explaining you how you are going to create a security profiles. Okay, how advanced threat prevention or URL filtering, or how you are going to compare that URL filtering, what are the other options that is available, like dynamic list, like custom URL filtering, how you are going to do all these things, I'll be explaining you. Okay.
Okay. Vikas, do you have application filtering in Palo Alto Firewall?
Yes, we do have, yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And also after that, we'll go for authorization, authentication. Basically, whenever you give an access to the user, how you want to authorize it, whether you want to use some kind of mechanism whether you want to give some kind of access to that user, whether it can only use the show command or it can only read only, it cannot do modification. So changes he cannot perform, this user cannot perform changes, this user can perform changes. So those things we will be seeing that how you are going to authenticate, whether TACACS, radius, or how it is, whether what kind of authentication sequence is there. So meaning that whether you want to use radius, whether you want to use LDAP, whether you want to use local, so method you can define as well. Okay, now whenever you want to access the device, what are the methods that you are going to use it? Okay, so all those things I'll be covering in the section, like in the upcoming sessions. Okay, how you are going to create a certificate. A certificate is very, very interesting topic, guys. So once we go understand the certificate, it is very easy, but in real world environment, or I have seen a lot of engineers, they are very, very confused on this. Okay, so I'll make it very, very simple, and I'll make you understand that what is basically a certificate is. So what is the users, what is the profile, how the chain is like. Okay, so all those things I'll be covering it. Now routing, this is important, guys. So we'll also see how we are going to do a dynamic routing, distribution profile, static routing, okay, route monitoring, policy based forwarding, and virtual versus logical router. So there is a virtual router is there. You can create multiple virtual routers in Palo Alto Firewall. What is the use? I'll explain you during the session. So when we go for routing configuration, I'll tell you about that as well. Okay, NAT. This is every company, even our house is using NAT. Let's say if you are connected in your home through Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi is doing NAT. So NAT is really, really important, guys. So I'll be covering all the NAT, security, source NAT, U-turn NAT, every NAT I'll be covering. What is the possibilities that we are having in Palo Alto, I'll be covering it, okay? Site-to-site VPN. Okay, now site-to-site VPN, everyone is using it nowadays. In every company, if you go site-to-site VPN, everyone uses it. In SD-WAN as well, we will be using site-to-site VPN, but it is like it builds site-to-site VPN on the go itself, but at least we should know what exactly it is, how exactly it works. Okay, so those things I'll be covering it. Now configuring the service route. So service route is nothing but a way to configure. So meaning that this is a Palo Alto firewall. Okay. Now we have something called as MGMT firewall. This is called as E/1, E/2, something like this. For an example, here our AD is connected. Here our radius is connected. Okay. So by default, all the routes will be go through this management interface. You have to specifically configure the service route, saying that if you want to reach to AD, you have to go through this interface. If you want to go to radius, you have to use this interface like that. So that is called as default, custom, destination based. You can create your service route. So service, you want to take a service through which interface, basically. Services in sense, the radius service, the support services, or the authentication services like that. Okay, and also we'll be going through the QoS, application based QoS. Okay, now what exactly the meaning of this is? Application based QoS. QoS is nothing but quality of service. So you can provide application based quality of service. So let's say if you want to give Zoom, as this is a video conferencing kind of application, you want to give priority to this. Okay, but in case of, let's say you want to give YouTube a less priority. So on the based of application, you can configure QoS. Okay, I'll show you. There is an option you can also do do that. Okay, now configuring the app ID, how we are going to create the create a rule, how to convert So basically you can create your own app ID, and you can also use that current app ID, and you can basically use that particular current app ID to control your traffic basically. And there are so many there are few override policies that is available you can use of, and you can control your traffic based on that. You can call that particular app ID to security policy, so that whenever that security policy hits, your app ID should work like that. Okay, we'll see the app dependency as well, and we will be seeing how we are going to create the custom application threads. Okay, and this is our remote VPN, which is nothing but a GlobalProtect, how licensing and configuring the gateway and the portal, how the agent should be working, what are the logging methods we will be having, how to configure clientless VPN, like through the web, how we are going to log in, HIP, if I want to get information about the PC, how we are going to get, configuring the multiple gateway and agent profile and split tunneling. Okay. Now we will be having multiple gateways, and we will be having single. So every user will be connecting to this, and after that they will redirect it to gateway. I'll be explaining why it is so. Okay. Now we'll be seeing the SSL decryption. This is also very, very important, guys. When you have like if you want to decrypt the traffic, and if you want, because all the traffic nowadays are HTTPS, right? What the user is talking to the server, we are not sure, because it is securely encrypted, right? So to decrypt it, we have to use SSL decryption, and I'll show you how we are going to do this. SSL and SSH proxy as well. Okay. So I was explaining about the WildFire, how we are going to configure it, how we are going to review it, what are the supported file type, file size that is there, how we are going to get an update from the cloud, how to forward the decrypted traffic to. So all these things I'll be explaining you, I'll be telling you about this once we go for each of the sessions. Okay. Yes, we came to Panorama. Now, how in Panorama, how to configure the template stack on Panorama, what are the components in the templates, in template stack, how we are going to push the policies, what is the override values in the stack, configuring the variables in the template, relationship between Panorama and the other dynamic updates. Okay, so all these things we are going to learn in the Panorama section. We have a template as well as we have device group as well. So we are going to create a template, meaning that in Panorama, very, very simple is that we have, like, let's say 2 devices. Now we will be creating group and saying India. Okay. And now in Panorama, we created a device group called as India, and these 2 devices are there. Okay. In template, we'll say what are the configuration that we need to push to this India, basically. Okay. And in device group also, we will be having so many things. Basically, in device group, we'll be pushing the policies. Here, we'll be in template, we'll be pushing some device related configuration. Okay. If you are not able to understand, that's well and fine. I'll be explaining you once we go into the sessions. Okay. And also we'll be seeing the configuration, how, whether when to take a backup, when we do update, what are the things that we need to check, how we are going to configure the log collector, the load role-based access on Panorama, and how we are going to configure the updates that is coming from the support portal, everything. will be seen in that. Okay. And also, let's say if I want to get that particular log, okay, if I want to send that particular log to Cortex Lake or somewhere, some syslog, other syslog servers, how we are going to do that, basically. Okay. And there are so many other things that we are going to, how we have to identify a critical log, how we are going to do the filters, how we are going to generate the reports, everything I'll be explaining you. Okay. Okay. So I'll explain that when you perform an upgrade, if it is a single firewall, if it is a high availability firewall, if you want to do it from Panorama, if you want to schedule some dynamic updates, what is the procedure and how we do in your real-time environment. I'll be explaining that as well. Okay. And now this section is totally on troubleshooting. Okay. So basically, I'll tell you about my class, how exactly it happens. Okay. So at the start, I'll be doing some theory part first. Okay. Once the theory is completed, I'll be doing some practical. I'll explain you what exactly I'm doing. And after that, I'll put some of the mistakes. Okay. As you are about, if you are aware, like as you have already understand the theory and little bit of practical, I will do some mistake in my side and I'll ask you to find it out. So that will gives you some kind of troubleshooting. If you are not able to find out, at least you will remember this thing was happened due to this. So you will understand by finding that particular mistake. Even I will make myself unaware that I have done this mistake. Okay. So I'll be trying this, I'll be trying this. So after doing this, you will be able to understand. So this is how the troubleshooting section will be going for each of the sessions. And even I'll be telling you during the troubleshooting time, what are the questions that you need to ask. So let's say if somebody is telling the internet is not working, the user is telling internet is not working. You need to ask a question, a set of questions, whether your internet is not working or intranet is not working, whether you are able to ping your gateway or not. So you have to basically understand what exactly the issue is. Not to, if the user is saying internet is not working, you're going to the ISP router and you're checking, okay, and you are calling the ISP, okay, and link is down for that. No, you have to ask a very good questions or a set of questions to understand the issue from the user. Okay. And this is just to troubleshoot interfaces, routing troubleshooting. Okay. The logging, reporting troubleshooting, how you are going to find the utilization, which user is utilizing more or something like that. Okay. Once you have a remote VPN, for that, how you are going to troubleshoot with the client, with the resources, what are the access that you have given, split tunneling and all those things. NAT troubleshooting, it can be security policy, decryption, authentication policy. So those things we are going to see. Okay. Once we have HA, what are how we are going to monitor the other devices, like the passive devices, how the passive device will become active device, what the failover triggers will be happening to it. Okay, so those things will be there, and I'll be covering from the start to end. Okay, and also at the last, I just wanted to say I'll be including my real-time experience into this so that you guys will understand at the enterprise level how we are troubleshooting, how the things will be working, so that it will be helpful once you go for interview or once you go for work as well. Okay. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you, Gaurav.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, go ahead. I'll ask later.
Hi, Vikash. Karthik here. So, what is the duration of this course, Vikash? Like,
It is a 40 hours course.
okay.
I guess Delhi, Gaurav, we are going for Monday to Friday, is it? Right?
So I am from Chennai.
Okay.
Here you don't have any center here, right? In Chennai.
No, we don't have.
Okay. So you are from Delhi, Gaza?
Yep.
Okay. So 40 hours course is weekend batch is available Saturday and Sunday.
I guess Gaurav will give you a better answer. I'm not sure whether he's available right now.
Okay.
So I guess this is
Vikas, Pawan here.
yeah, Pawan, tell me.
You said it's 40 hours. So daily, it's from 8 o'clock, right? Actually, I missed that. That's why I'm asking again.
It is 8:30 to 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
90 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, fine then. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Hello, because
Hello.
static route and virtual router you can consider as the same. It's like if you want to create IPsec tunnel, so you have to put a static route in that virtual router only.
Virtual router, I didn't understand. Can you
Static route and virtual router you can consider as the same in one word. Like it's not a different part. Means like
they are different.
okay. It's like, can you just give explanation between two?
Yeah. So virtual router is a router that you have created inside Palo Alto. Okay, just understand.
Okay.
There is a router inside that Palo Alto. But static route, you are going to that virtual router and you are giving a static route.
Okay.
Okay. Understand?
Okay. Okay.
So, meaning that this is a Palo Alto. For an example, you understand. This is Palo Alto. In that Palo Alto, we have a virtual router. Now, through Palo Alto console, you go to this virtual router and you give a static routing.
Okay.
So basically, it's a router. You're going. So how you give a static route into the router? You log into the router and you give static route, right? Same way.
Because for what reasons we use virtual routers?
For routing purpose. Without routing, how the traffic will go from one interface to another interface? For that reason, we are using virtual router.
Okay. For that, we can use like routing.
We are using routing in a virtual router. It's just that we will be having multiple virtual routers. I'll explain you during the sessions that exactly it works. We can create multiple virtual router in Palo Alto Firewall.
Okay.
Yeah, go on, please, guys.
Hello, Vikas.
Yeah.
So yeah, can you please share me the basic concepts which we need to learn before jumping into the firewall course? So like TCP handshake, routing, and attack as servers. In next few classes we are going to configure it, right? Can you share the list of basic network concepts or some other concepts which we need to learn or revise it?
Definitely, I'll be sharing a kind of PDF with you guys so that you guys can go through that particular topics, basics of it.
Thank you.
And even guys, the people who enroll for the course, we have already added few videos just to understand why firewall is required and all. So you can follow that video in the portal also.
Hello, Vikas. My question is that I am novice in this field of networking. I have just started like a month ago. I have joined networking a week ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I'm studying Linux fundamentals by Amit. Then I've been advised to go for CEH certification because eventually I have to go in cybersecurity. So I am wondering, is CEH worth going or Palo Alto, or should I go for CEH first because CEH seems like a prereq for Palo Alto?
See, the thing is, I'll tell you. You are going for CH, okay?
I'm sorry, can you repeat again?
Yeah, if you are going for CEH, that is a ethical hacking, okay?
Yeah.
Now, in ethical hacking, you need to learn the firewalls, the system, how exactly it works, the IPS, how exactly it works. If you're going for Palo Alto, what happens is you will understand the firewall, how security basics works, okay? I'm not saying that you have to go second for the CH, but I'm just telling you the perspective, what exactly. You have to choose it, whether which path is best for me. Okay. So if you're going for CH, at the end of the day, you have to learn any firewall or any system, as you have already learning Linux. If you understand how firewall works, it's a complete like, right? Or maybe later you have to understand the Windows, the Mac, because you are into security, right? Security means you have to know all the system and you have to know the vulnerabilities of all the systems as well, right? So learning something, it's good, right?
So it means, should I go for CEH or not, or directly to Palo Alto?
It depends on you, that which path. If you're going for Palo Alto, I'll recommend you go for Palo Alto, and maybe later you can go for CH as well. It's
maybe.
Yeah, not maybe. I'm not telling you maybe. What I'm trying to say is, once you understand it or Linux, then you can go for CH.
So after learning Linux, CEH and Palo Alto, they are different paths?
No, it's not different.
Okay.
It's a device. You have to understand the hacking and you have to understand the security. Hacking is to understand the vulnerabilities of the system. Okay. Network security is how you are going to secure your network by providing or by giving some kind of policy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. And is CEH or Palo Alto universal, like or like in Asia, Palo Alto is dominating, in Europe, Juniper is dominating, and in North America, something else is dominating. I'm basically asking you, depending upon my geographical location, do I really need to go for Palo Alto, or I need to study like in this geographical location, this firewall company is dominating and I should go for that?
Just so you know right now. So guys, I'll tell you, see, the Palo Alto is number one in terms of any of the security device. So of course, there is no comparison that this country is using this firewall and all. Palo Alto is number one. Every organization, either they are using earlier Fortinet or ASA or other like a checkpoint firewall, they're moving on Palo Alto. The reason, because Palo Alto have a different option and advanced feature is there in that.
Okay.
And however, even you're learning one firewall or even you're learning a 4 firewalls, the concept is remain same. Only there are some firewalls that have a different or advanced feature. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So guys, thank you so much. And from Wednesday, that means from tomorrow no class, and from Wednesday we are going to continue at the same time. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, Vikas, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys.